Welcome back to All the Mods 10. Today, we'll be checking out the best enchantments that I use on my gears, tools, and weapons and whatnot. And I'm not just going to show you a list of enchantments that I use because it is an entire process. And even at the end of the game, I am still filling around with enchantments, filling around with stats, gears, and the best loadout that I can get on hand. So, we're going to start with the early game enchantments and vanilla enchantments because, well, it's vanilla, it's the basic stuff. This is what you're going to start out with. And stay tuned until the end of the episode where I can show you how to level up your enchantments. Not one, not two, but three levels of enchantments. So stay tuned for that. So, anyway, we're going to start now. And here is the apothic enchantments that I set up for myself. So you can check out a previous episode that I've done on apothic enchantment setups. And is it the most optimal setup? Well, it is right now, but you can just make it work and then you can optimize it later. So you can check out the, let's say, the Craftorio episode that I've done on setting up the apothic enchantments to max 100%. And yeah, it is the whole process. So I recommend that video if you want to check out how to set up the apothic enchantment setup. So what this does is, well, it's better enchantments, such as if you look up protection, we all know that vanilla Minecraft goes up to protection 4, but not with apothic enchantments because it goes up to, where is it? Where is it? Here it is, protection 8. Sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? It's double the protection on each of your armor pieces. And not only that, apothic enchantments allow you to combine protections as well. So yeah, there's that. And a whole lot of other goodies that you can check out with apothic enchantments. So of course, early game, maybe early midish game, you're only going to play around with the basic stuff and vanilla enchantments and whatnot. So vanilla enchantments, yeah, protection, top priority right there. So let's check out the library Alexandria so you can get like a whole list of stuff that I unlocked. This is most of the enchantments that I have unlocked. And there may be like one or two that I'm missing in here, but not quite sure of what that is, but can't be that all important, right? So when you're dealing with vanilla Minecraft enchantments, and I will not be surprised if some people don't know this. Who knows? Maybe they're really new to this stuff. So let's go over the basic enchantments that you can get early game when you're starting out. So if you're starting out, well, beggars can't be choosers. Just pick whatever you want. If you find it in a chest or a dungeon loot and something like that, well, go ahead and use it. It's better than nothing. So you can re-roll later. Re-roll your enchantments, get better gear, and then get better enchantments that way. But early game, you have nothing, so use what you can find or get your hands on. So basic enchantments, protection, top priority right there. Protection. So early on, you probably only have access to like protection 3, maybe protection 4 or something like that. Maybe you have like some kind of villager farm going and you buy a book for protection 4. Right there. Prop 4. Early on, top priority, get protection 4, all your gears early on. So yeah, that's one enchantment that you have to get early game. So another one is Unbreaking, right there. And in vanilla, you get Unbreaking 3, right there. And in this pack, it goes up a little bit, So early game, you probably get like, I don't know, maybe 3, maybe you're lucky enough to get 4, maybe 5, something like that. Maybe you combine a couple of books in the anvil, and you get Unbreaking right there. And of course, with Unbreaking, you can get some Mending. Another important enchantment from vanilla Minecraft is the Mending books right there. That's how you repair all your tools, all your precious tools, all the enchantments, so you don't have to keep repairing it. And then at a point, it stops being repairable, and then, well, it ends up breaking. You gotta make a new one. So yeah, Mending. Another top priority book right there. But of course, we are in All the Mods 10 inside this beefy mod pack. You don't necessarily have to use Mending or Unbreaking right there because we have the Just Dire Things tools right there. So if you are able to get the Just Dire Things tools up to a point where it only requires power and not durability, so much the better because I'm still rocking the Eclipse Alloy Paxel. And if you can set up some basic wireless power in order to charge up all your tools and weapons and the armor and stuff, you don't even need the unbreaking or the mending. So yeah, just get rid of it. So just put protection on your just starting stuff, and you're done. You don't need unbreaking, you don't need mending. But of course, if you don't have access to just starting tools things, or if you can't make it, well, unbreaking and mending. There you go. It'll sell you until you can upgrade your armor to unbreakable. Alright, so secondary enchantments. Well, I gotta head on into the nether, and well, the nether's filled with fire, and burning lava, and blazes that apparently have sharpshooter abilities from several blocks away, so fire protection. Just get some fire protection. It doesn't have to be high fire protection. It can be like 1, 2, 3. You know, it's better than not having fire protection. So if you're heading into the nether, and yeah, you fall into lava, hey, it might just save you. This might save you. So fire protection right there. Feather falling, you never know when you're gonna like fall through a cave, when you're digging directly down because you're YOLOing it. Feather falling, great enchantment right there. Another vanilla Minecraft staple right there. So that's feather falling right there. And of course, you're probably not gonna have flight or anything like that. Maybe you're just rocking a jetpack. That's not gonna save you from like a big fall jetpack. So before you get flight, well, feather falling probably gonna save your life. So next up, we're gonna have respiration. Not that type priority, but you know, you never know when you're gonna swim around, and you need to look for artifacts or suspicious gravel or sand. Respiration's gonna help you out. Another enchantment for the water stuff is Aqua Infinity, right there, and that kind of like allows you to mine normally underwater, and you know, if you're messing around underwater, it's a great enchantment right there. Another enchantment that you might look up to is Tombstone Soulbound or equivalent. There could be other Soulbound enchantments floating around out there, but in this pack we have Tombstone Soulbound. So if you eat it in a cave somewhere, or you get your face ripped off by some kind of mob, well, you get to keep the item right there. So it'll be a little bit easier. Just head back to your tombstone and retrieve your items. Now let's talk about the enchantments for the weapons and the tools. So early on, for me, I want to put Fortune top priority right there, because when I'm starting out, I basically have nothing. So when I find like a diamond ore vein, or maybe iron ore vein, or maybe some coal, maybe some really important stuff that I need, well, basically early on, I need everything. So Fortune, great to have. Another staple of vanilla Minecraft. It gets you extra stuff early on. So that's yeah, that's important in my book. So another one is Silk Touch. So when you're heading to the deep dark, you can still touch a couple of sculpt stuff, items, or maybe some glowstone, or maybe you can still touch some ores. Bring it back, you know, compacts the space. It saves space in your inventory. You know, bring it back and just fortune it to your heart's content. Also good for breaking glass. So next up, we have sharpness right there. When you're floating around in vanilla Minecraft and you're extra squishy, sharpness, extra attack damage right there. Put it on your sword, and yeah, just this might give you an edge. Of course, with every weapons and tools, unbreaking and mending applies. If you are not using any kind of weapons or tools that has a power bar. So that's good for any tools or weapons that's kind of breakable and has durability. Now for the bows, go for infinity right there. Put an arrow in your inventory, and there you go. Extra arrows. Don't have to worry about any kind of arrow supply. Just put a stack of arrows in your inventory, and you're good to go with infinity. And of course, top it off with power. So yeah, those are my enchantments for the bows. And yeah, there are other enchantments for blows, such as flame, or maybe I don't really know what the bow enchantments are anymore. I just put whatever I want on it. I usually go for like power and infinity, and maybe some flame, and that's about it, I guess. There could be one enchantment that I'm missing that I usually put it on, but I'm not quite sure what that is, so we'll leave it at that. This one is for what, crossbows? Okay, well, Alright, so another enchantment that you can put on your sword is Sweeping Edge. Right there. It increases damage of sweeping attacks. So when you're swiping more than one mob that's close to each other, well, it increases damage. So yeah, that's great for mob farms as well. Sweeping Edge. And not only that, for the pickaxe and any of the mining tools that you use, such as shovels and hacksaws and axes, you can go for efficiency right there. And of course, in this pack, goes up to 9. I would say 8, because we'll talk about that later. All right. So, other nice things to have are the other protection, such as blast protection, right there. And since we have a pot of enchantments that allow you combined protections, why not just put blast protection on one of your pieces of armor? It's extra protection. I mean, I don't usually go for blast protection in if I had to choose between this and protection. I would rather have the protection over the blast protection. So yeah, blast protection. If you can put it on your piece of armor with protection, then yeah, I suppose so. That's a plus. That's a bonus right there. And what was the other protection? Ah, right, projectile protection right there. Another nice thing to have, but not absolutely necessary. So, thorns, or equivalent. You have the vanilla Minecraft thorns right there. So when enemies hit you, they take damage. There's also icy thorns in this pack. It's when they hit you, it slows them down right there. So I rather pick icy thorns because it slows them down. All right. So we're going into the modded enchantments, and since we already talked about icy thorns, why not? Stable footing, another important one, because when you get flight and creative flight, flying and whatnot or equivalent, yeah, you're gonna need some stable footing because just like Aqua Infinity, when you're flying up in the air, well, you're gonna mine a little bit slower. But with stable footing, it allows you to mine normally. So yeah, another important mod enchantment right there that I usually take. Another one that I would take is capturing, because you never know when you want to make a mob spawner and you need spawn eggs. You know, going around in the nether, ripping off the faces of the wither skeletons and the blazes, and you get a spawn egg. Oh, what luck! I can put that in a spawner, and then I can bring that home and make a mob farm out of that. So yeah, capturing, really nice to have, but not absolutely necessary, because scavenger tops that right there, and also ancient knowledge. So let's go back to scavenger, and what this does is mobs killed may roll their loot tables twice, so there's a chance that you can get extra loot that way. Now, of course, going to ancient knowledge, you probably already know what this is. And what is it? Knowledge of the ages, not ancient knowledge. That's a whole nother thing. So, knowledge of the ages is enemy drops or directly converted to XP. That's great for getting a whole load of XP because we all know you're gonna need it in order to deal with all this apothic enchantment setups and all the enchantments that you're gonna get. Because yeah, XP, lots of XP, you gotta have it if you're gonna deal with all this stuff. So yeah, knowledge of the ages, fantastic to have, but of course you gotta supplement that with other things inside the pack as well. All right, so let's go back to here. So what is next? Right, modded enchantments. You can go for the mana boost and the mana regen. This is, I believe that's Ars Nouveau related, so if you're into that, you can put that on all your pieces of armor, and then yeah, you can have a mana boost and mana regen right there. Alright, other modded enchantments is Nature's Blessing. You know, get an unbreakable hole, or maybe, I don't know, at least a netherite hole, you know? Just make the damn thing and put Nature's Blessing right on there. It'll save you a whole ton of bone meal, and then you can go around and bone meal some stuff with your netherite hole with Nature's Blessing on it. Just right click the grass, right click whatever, and I can even show you right now. What is this? Nature Blessing 6. Going around here. Yeah, look at that. Grass. Flowers. Very nice. Good for your crop farms. Manual crop farms. And whatnot. Trees. You got to deal with the trees at one point or another. That's good for dealing with the trees as well. Alright, so, yes, of course, soul looting. At one point, you gotta capture some souls or spawn some souls. So, put soul looting on one of your swords and go make a mob farm and, yeah, get some, lots of souls that way. Namely, you're looking for the corrupted souls. Right there. Corrupted souls. So that if you put soul looting on one of your weapons, then these guys will spawn a lot more. So that'll make it a little bit easier just to get those guys. Of course, that is kind of like a specialty kind of enchantment. So yeah, just put it on a separate sword, and you're good to go. All right, so moving on to the other enchantments, you get things like defensive enchantments, such as icy thorns that we talked about earlier. Right there. There's a defensive enchantment right there. Of course, there is another one called neurotoxins. And this one is the chance to inflict paralyzed on non-undead mob or non-iron slow golems. Higher health mobs decreases paralyzed chance. So yeah. I'm gonna try that. I have one in my armor. So yeah, that's pretty good to have. So poisoning is another defensive one. And I don't have a lot of that, so I won't be using that until I get some more. But it gives poison effect to an enemy when hurt. So cool. There's also offensive ones as well. And this is poison tip. Damaged mobs get poisoned. And then you have frostbite. Right there, frostbite. Come on, game's lagging again. Dang it. Alright. Freezes and damages enemies hit. So yeah, that's an offensive move right there. And then not only that, you have things like life stealing. Steal health from attack mobs. So yeah, there's probably more in here with defensive or offensive enchantments. So just take a look, see what works up for you, and just put it on and try it out. And it works for you, then great. Alright, so after you max out the Apothec enchantment, and you have access to lots of XP, just go ahead and max out the usual enchantments. Get the rest of the enchantments you couldn't get, and then farm some random XP books and place them in the library, such as like this. Get some specialty tomes, such as this one's for the boots, this one's for the chest plates, or you can just use regular books. I don't care. So get some lapis, lots of it. Go to your Apothec enchantment, just put the lapis in there, and come on, game, keep up. Put it over here, and then just grind away. Now, I did hear that you can probably automate this, but I heard conflicting things about that. Some people say you can, some people say you can't. So, I don't know which is which, but of course, I haven't found a way. I did try to pipe it in, but, it didn't work. So, if you're gonna do this, well, you're in for a lot of grinding. Of course, you could use the enchantment machine from Industrial 4 going. Come on, game. Have loads of memory. Jeez. So yeah, once you do that, you just go to the library, just shove it all in here. And then, yeah, you'll have extra points that way. If you just run out of points, let's say protection, just keep doing it. And you'll be okay. Yeah, it takes a little bit of grinding. Alright, game, let me reload you, jeez. Alright, so it's now time to show you what I've chosen for the best enchantments for my gear and my tools and weapons. And to do this, we're going to have to decrease the size of the GUI. So let's say we're going to go for 2. There we go. Alright, so I'm rocking all the wizard gear right here. You can use the wizard gear, or you can use the Arcana set, or you can use the regular old Unobtainium gear. Use wherever you want. I'm using all the wizard gear because, I'm using the iron spells right down here. Occasionally. I don't have to use this, but, I made it and I stuck with it. So anyway, let's go down the list right here and ignore the prefixes, the yellow text at the top, and the empty sockets at the bottom. We'll talk about that in a different episode. So anyway, we're worried about the enchantments right now. So, going down the list, on my helmet right here, or the mage hat, we have protection 9, blast protection 10, respiration 8, aqua affinity, tombstone soulbound, mana boost, and mana regen right there. So already, that's pretty good right there. And going down the list, we have the mage robes or the chest plate. We have protection 9, of course. We have projectile protection 12. And again, in Apothic enchantments, you can totally combine that protection. And hopefully it works out that way and not just a little label. We have Icy Thorns. I want to give that a try, which slows attackers. I have Mana Boost and Mana Regen. And I have Tombstone Soulbound right there. Going down the list to the leggings, we have Protection 9, Fire Protection 10, Swift Sneak 4, Neurotoxins 13, Tombstone Soulbound, Spectral Conjurer 13, Mana Boost, and Mana Regen. Now, even though that I'm not using Ars Nouveau, I put it on there anyway, just in case that I will be using it in the near future. So, yeah. Alright, going down to the boots, we have Protection 9, Feather Falling, Death Strider, Tombstone Soulbound, Stable Footing, Mana Boost, and Mana Regen. And there you have it. That's all the armor with the enchantments that I'm using, the best enchantments for me. Alright, so going to the tools and the weapons. Of course, the Eclipse Alloy Paxel, not that much. I just have Fortune, Unbreaking, and Capturing on this damn thing. And yeah, there are other abilities on this little Paxel thingamajiggy. And if you go in here, I have the Ore Miner, and the Tree Feller, and Instant Break on it. And I should really check out the other Paxels as well. So, you know, just to see if I can bring that up a little bit. And have some more enchantments on there. Such as, I don't know, Efficiency maybe? Or maybe some kind of, maybe check that out. Let's see. Oh yes, Boon of the Earth. Pretty nice. Well, let's check out the list of enchantments that I didn't talk about. What is this? Backstabbing amplifies damage when striking a target from behind. Hey, you want to play like Assassin's Creed, or maybe if you want to sneak around a little bit, yeah, you can totally go ahead and do that if you want to do it that way. Berserker's Fury. Now, this thing puts you in Berserker's mode, and it's red for a reason. And I don't know what the downside to that is, but I'm not going to use it. So you can use it if you want to. It's your choice. His Blessing, chance to receive a beneficial effect when hit. I have considered this, but it doesn't say what kind of positive effects that I will be getting. It could be random, and if it does give me effects, I don't want that to be affecting my other abilities that I have over here, because these effects that I have on, these are the infinite potion effects that I have in my infusion pylons, and they're on all the time. So I don't want anything else affecting this one. So yeah, that's why I want to avoid. So let's see again. Boon of the Earth. Yeah, I suppose I can put it on my pick, and that's probably only good if you're like early game and you kind of don't have much. So you just put on Boon of the Earth, put on high efficiency, then you can go to town and take down an entire mountain. Hey, go right ahead and do that. All right, let's see. Breach. I think this is for the mace. So never used it. Not into the mace. If you're into the mace, go right ahead. There is an all the modium version of the mace right there. Unobtainium mace. So yeah, if you want to use that, go right ahead. It might be a little bit fun. Let's see. Catalysis. Killing mobs will spread skull. Oh no. Chainsaw. Huh. Could use a new axe. Cool. You want to use Trident, you can totally use the vanilla enchantments, and then there might be a few of the enchantments just for the Trident as well. So cool. Chromatic Aberration, another nice thing to have. Kind of like a a gimmick or a toy just to play around with. Comb Cutter for the mines. Mines combs, hives, nests, and wax blocks faster. Yeah, that's what it does. Crescendo of Boats. This is for the crossbow. So there are a couple of enchantments just for the crossbow in here. But since I don't use a crossbow, I'm not going to worry about that. You can look through the list, mouse over it, and you can read what it says and find out what it does. Curse of Bones, chance to reflect damage when hit. Curse of Breaking, Curse of Vengeance. Let's see. Density, that's for the mace. Efficiency, Endless Quiver. Makes all arrows infinite. Cool. I think that goes on to the bow, not the arrow. So that's kind of like Infinity, but maybe it works differently. Who knows? All right. Fearless. No, don't pick Fearless. It just dashes you forward toward the enemy. Why would you want to do that? All right. Fire Expect. That is for putting fire on your weapon. That's pretty cool. Flame. That's with a bow. Frostbite. I'm using that. Growth Serum. What's this? That's for farming. Okay, cool. Impaling. That's for the trident. Incurable Wounds reduces healing done to enemies hit. Cool. Not using that, but you can use that if you want to. Knowledge of the Ages, we already talked about that. Life Stealing, Life Mending. This is red for a reason, so that means it has a downside. I don't know what that is, but I'm not picking that. Loyalty, that's for the Trident. Luck of the Sea, that's for fishing. Lure as well. Magic Siphon. I don't know what magic mod this is. Mending, of course. Miner's Reservoir. Another one that can be beneficial to you, but on paper, the description says you will mine very fast, but never instantly. So this like instant break or something like that, and you put that in your pickaxe, and you can mine a whole lot faster. But the thing is, I heard it's a little bit bugged, or maybe it doesn't work with certain things, such as the all the Modium tools. So I'm staying away from that one. So you can try it if you want to. And let's see, multi-shot, that's for the crossbow. Piercing, that's for the crossbow. Plague Bringer applies negative effects to enemies hit, but it doesn't say which negative effects. So, yeah, Plague Bringer. I don't want that to be affecting me as well, because the plague got that back in the series in Craftoria several times. And it's like it doesn't feel very good, so I'm just gonna avoid that just in case it has some kind of splashback damage, and I get that too. So yeah, just gonna avoid that. Potent Poison, what is this? Inflict poison when it hits a non-undead poison. Okay, so that's more poison stuff. Let's see. Power, projectile protection, punch, that's for the bows. Quick charge, that is for the crossbows. Rebounding, okay, the rebounding. This is specialty enchantment right here. So you put rebounding on your armor, and a mob hits you, it gets teleported away from you. So that may be a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is, if a boss is coming towards you and you can't handle it, and rebounding, if it works for bosses, it teleports that mob away. It can be like a very dangerous mob, it doesn't have to be a boss. And rebounding teleports that mob away, and you're saved. But of course, if you're walking around, running around, in the end, for say, and you're hitting a couple of Endermen, well, if they teleport away, well, you can't take them out, and that sucks. So that's what rebounding does. So you want to pick that? Go right ahead. Just know what it does when you're using it. Reflective defenses. Blocked attacks may harm the attacker. It's kind of like thorns. Ricochet, what is this? That has something to do with slingshot, riptide, or trident stuff. Ruthless strike increases critical damage. This is for the weapon, right? I'm not quite sure if I put that on the weapon. We'll see later. Sanctify, the weapon deals holy damage. I don't know how well this will work. I don't know how much holy damage it deals with. So, not going to use it. Scavenger, well, I've talked about that. Self slaying, that has something to do with the slaying. Sharpness, shield bash. I don't use the shield much. And let's see. Silk touch, smite, soul looting, soul snatcher. What is this? Increases the attack damage of the chain of souls. Don't use it. So if you use that, great. Okay, we have spectral bite. Chance to trigger an area attack when hit. So it's a chance. I would rather not have that chance to go off. So if I can have a button that can affect that, then great. But if it's a chance, then I'm not going to choose that. Because, depending on the situation, I wouldn't want this particular mob to get hit. And, yeah, so not picking that one. There is also something called Spectral Conjurer. I'm going to try that. I have that on my sword. And that one summons a wolf. Alright, Stable Footing. We already talked about that. Sweeping Edge. Swift Sneak, Temptation. That is for farming. Thorns, Tombstone, Soulbound, Unbreaking, Windburst. That's for the mace. And Worker Exploitation. Alright, so that's the list that I have. I probably have most of the enchantments in here already. I know I'm missing one of them. And that's about it. So there may be a few that's not on the list. So anyway, let's continue checking out the enchantments that I have right now. And we already checked out the armor, so let's go to the sword right here. And again, ignore the yellow tags, ignore the empty socket. We'll talk about that in a different episode. So I have sharpness, smite, sweeping edge, looting, unbreaking, mending, unbreaking and mending. Again, it's an unbreakable tool, unbreakable weapon. But of course, this weapon's carried over from netherite. So yeah, the enchantment just kind of stuck with me. So it doesn't do anything. Doesn't do much anyway. So it's like, just leave it there. I have life stealing, scavenger, frostbite, and capturing. So again, sharpness increases damage. Smite goes against undead. Sweeping edge increases damage with swiping attacks. Looting increases the chance of getting a loot. Unbreaking, mending, you already know what that is. Life stealing takes health away from the mobs. Let's see, scavenger, that rerolls the loot table twice, so you get more loot by chance. Frostbite slows down the enemies when hit. Capturing gets you spawn eggs by chance. So there we have it. That's their sword with the enchantments on it. Now moving on to the other sword. This is the older sword. I have sharpness, sweeping edge, looting, unbreaking, mending. I have scavenger, capturing, soul looting, and knowledge of the ages. This sword I use for farming XP. This is why I have knowledge of the ages on here. I also have soul looting because at one point, I need a sword and I need to put soul looting on a sword of some sort. And I picked this one. So yeah, get corrupted souls with this one. So other tools and weapons that I have, we showed you the Nature's Blessing hole right there. Other stuff. Here's my other hole with Fortune and Efficiency on it. This one has Silk Touch. I believe I made this just for the Nether. I'm not quite sure. Maybe. No, I made this for the Deep Dark. That's right. So yeah, several tools. You don't have to devote yourself to just one. Just make several. One for each situation, right there. And let's see what other tools. Is my Neptunium fishing rod that I barely used. I have Luck of the Sea, Lure, Unbreaking, and Mending on it. Let's see what else that I can see here. Here's my Infused Pickaxe. That's for farming Easnium or Eisnium. Fortune, Unbreaking, and Mending on it. And then I have the Just Started tools. I have the Eclipse Pickaxe just for Silk Touch. It has a shovel with nothing on it. I have the Clips Hole with nothing on it. And yeah, I guess that's about it. All the major tools that I already showed you already. So that's about it right there. And of course, I have the Quantum Sword. And what is this? Yes, the Supremium Sword. This is for mystical agriculture only. And I have looting, capturing maybe. I'll just put it on there. And then I have another important enchantment that you haven't seen, and that's the Mystical Enlightenment. And Ender Dragons and Withers drop Cognizant Dust when taken out with an Essence weapon. And since this is an Essence weapon with that particular enchantment, you get a chance of getting that loot drop. So in order to get that, you just go to Enchanter right here, and then check out the recipes. And you can find a Mystical Enlightenment on this list somewhere. Then you can get it that way if you want to. There it is, right there. Of course, there's probably another way of getting this particular enchantment, but I haven't seen it, so I did it that way, and it works. Alright, so that is the enchantments so far. The best enchantments that I use for my gears and tools and weapons, right there. Now, I'm going to tell you how you can level up your gear by 1, 2, and 3 levels. So, you're going to have to do some grinding and some busy work in the other mods in order to do that. So, let's go with the hard stuff first. And this is called the Easnium or Eisnium Anvil from Occultism. And yes, you have to go through Occultism in order to get this. But is 1 level worth it? I think so. So yeah, let's check that out. All right, so this is the Isnium anvil, and let me just increase my UI back up. And where's the UI scale? 3. All right, there we go. All right, so we got the anvil right there. And to check out how you make this, you need this particular circle or pentacle up hexes, up highses. I'm just gonna call it up heses. Okay, wherever the uppies, whatever the uppies inverted tower. This is the pentacle to use, and you're supposed to have merit essence, a regular old anvil, and 3 blocks of Isnium in order to make your Isnium anvil right there. And yes, of course, your merit bound book as well. So if you go all the way over here, and I'm going to start legging again. All right, which pentacle is it? All right, let's see. It's this one. All right, so it's this pentacle to use. So yeah, you have to go through occultism in order to do this, and you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? I think so, because in occultism, you have to make other stuff from it. So, such as your demonic waifu, your 6x crushers, and other things to make the ATM star. So, yeah, eventually you're gonna have to go through this. So, why not make the Isnium anvil and up your enchantments by 1? So, let's go back to the anvil, and we're gonna go ahead and increase the enchantment by 1. Alright, so, of course, since you have your maxed out apothic enchantment set up right here, and of course, you can only go up to protection 8. And in JEI, it'll probably show you what the max enchantment is. So right there, there's protection 8 right there. We're going to use that in an example. Let me put this away. Alright, so protection. We're going to get 8. Alright, that's 8. And that's 8. Now, of course, according to apothic enchantment, since 8 is the maximum, can't make 9. So this is the regular old ass anvil. It's chipped, but still usable. And look at that, 8, 8. Hey, it should be 9, but it's not. So yeah, you can't do it in this particular anvil. That's why you need to make this particular thing. The Isnium anvil, put 8 and 8. This is 8 and 8, and you get 9 right there. Now you get the 9. Alright, so let's say you have a diamond helmet. I don't know why. Let's say Prot 4. Let's see, Prot 4, Curse of Bones. Okay, fine, Curse of Bones. Plus, I want to put Protection 9 on this weak-ass diamond chestplate. Right there. Oh, wait. Not 9, it's 8. But this one's 9. Oh, you can't do it over here. You gotta do it on this particular anvil. So you do this, and look at that. Protection 9 right there. I'm not gonna do it because that's stupid. The diamond armor. So yeah, that's how you do it. You're supposed to use this particular anvil in order to do it. And before you do that, put your protection 9 back into your library so it unlocks. So you go down to list right here, and look at that, max level availability says 9. So yeah, just put it in your library first, and then pull it back out, and then place it on your armor. Yeah, that's pretty nice. So that is 1 enchantment down right there. And as you may notice, all my gears has protection 9 on it. And of course, all the other enchantments is probably up by 1 as well. So cool. So that's 1 level down right there. We have 2 levels remaining in order to make up the max of 3 bonus levels that I talked about earlier. So if you mouse over this particular sword right here, and this is the alloy blade, again, ignore the well, you don't have to ignore it now. I'm going to talk about it right now. So this is the apothic gems. So let's see, what the heck is it called? Apothic gems. I don't know, gems. See if I can see it over here. This one, and what the heck is it called? Hold on. Let's see the apotheosis. Is it really just called apotheosis? All right, sure, whatever. So, I like to call it apothic gems because well, it has something to do with gems and stuff like that. So, if you mouse over this sword and then you mouse over this sword, you can see the difference between two right there. So this particular thing, the alloy blade, has a couple of name prefixes at the top right there. It has the fancy border around it that's kind of like glowing or something like that. Is it glowing? I can't. Well, sometimes it's colored, so yeah. You have the yellow prefixes at the top that shows you what it does, and then you have the sockets at the bottom. So cool. That's the apotheosis right there. So if you mouse over this regular old ass boring unobtainium sword, it doesn't have that. But we're going to show you in a future episode on how you can convert this particular sword into the apotheosis right there. But today we're just going to talk about adding the +2 levels to all existing enchantments. So if you look down there, there it is. There's the gem that you add to your socket in order to add your other 2 levels of enchantments to your sword. You don't have to add several gems for each of those enchantments. All you have to do is just add 1 to your sword or 1 to your gears, and then it just +2s all the enchantments that you have on that particular piece of armor or gear right there. So yeah, this gem is called, I'm not sure if I have it on me. Where is it? I don't think it's on here, but I can probably show you in here. Where is that? Here it is. It is the Ender Surge gem that you find in the end by taking out the Enderman, and eventually you'll get this particular thing. And then you level up to perfect status. See, if you mouse over this, it's flawless, but if you level this up to perfect, it gets you 2 levels to all existing enchantments. And this is what I am going to use on all my gears, or most of it anyway, and all my weapons, and etc. etc. So cool. Hey, it's +2 levels. It's not 1, 2. And of course, since I have the occultism stuff done anyway, why not add the 3rd one as well? So cool. So right now, the alloy blade that I have right now, it is a full-on +3 enchantments, even though that says +2. But the first one is through occultism. So, and the second one, which is +2, that's one apotheosis right there. So, you mouse over that, I have sharpness 12 instead of sharpness 9. Is that the max right there? Hold on. Sharpness was the max? Yeah, that's 9. According to Apothic Enchantments, that goes up to the max of 9. So, it's not 9, it's 12. Nice, that's +3 right there. Basic math. So yeah, that's all the enchantments. That's the best enchantments that I have on my gears and the swords right now. Well, most of them anyway. Yeah, so stay tuned for the apothic gems and the iron jewelry and relics. We're not done with my final loadout right now. This is not the final form. So yeah, if you notice, there are a lot of empty sockets at the bottom right there. And then, of course, I'm gonna tell you about these things right there. Yeah. All right. So I've been Fumble Blanc. This has been our episode of All the Mods 10, and I'll see you next time.